It's Friday, January 7th, 2011, and I'd like to show you the memory quilt that I had made out of Kenny's t-shirts and some of his shorts and some other things that were important to him. I had it done by a company that's called Campus Quilt. Their website is campusquilt.com. So the way I did it was kind of chronological and symbolic at the same time. So I'm going to start off with this square down here in the bottom corner, because it really anchors Kenny with the love of the outdoors that he had. This was a t-shirt that we got at the Grand Canyon Deer Farm, and you can see it says Grand Canyon, and the whimsical figures on it just reminded me so much of Kenny and Rex, Dick, and the other guys that he liked to go hiking with. So that's part of his foundation. And there's one just like it up here in the opposite corner. So from there I thought about what was really important to Kenny, and of course his BMW was very near and dear to his heart. So this was one of his favorite t-shirts with the BMW insignia, and another BMW which I had as a collage done for him. This was the base square was a t-shirt. This was his Buckeye Beamer's patch that was in the garage, and his BMW patch that was on the riding jacket. And this is actually the collar from his riding jacket. What else was important to Kenny? Of course, drinking. So the Dirty Drummer was the bar that was around the corner from where he and Don and Helen lived in Tempe, Arizona. They used to go there all the time after work and on the weekends. His running was really important to him, particularly the marathon. So here's his LA Marathon shirt from 1987. And he also ran in the same LA Marathon in '86. So this patch was on his riding jacket as well. Some of you folks from Ohio will probably recognize some of these. They're in roughly chronological order. Some of them I couldn't tell what year or even the location, so I just put them in an order that was pretty to look at. This square is from a jazz festival that he went to on Catalina Island in October of 1988. He just loved that experience, and he loved this shirt as well. He just couldn't bear to throw it away, and so by the end of its life it had great tears in the back of it, and he used it for oil changes on the car, and I actually found it just kind of balled up and stuffed in a corner in our laundry room, but I was glad he hadn't thrown it away so I could include it here. This row 3 is kind of what I think of as the everyday Kenny. So on either end we have some of his shorts. So he wore these shorts all the time. He wore so many of these plain green t-shirts, and I had to laugh because Kenny was really hard on his things, and stains were just part of the way that he dressed. So this particular square always brings a smile because it's got the stain on it. This was one of the few long sleeve button-up shirts that Kenny wore, and I always liked the color, and he wore it when camping, and then towards the end of his life this was the shirt that he chose to wear when he was having a harder time staying warm. This square was a pillow that he received while he was in the hospital. And so I put it right here in the middle towards the top of the quilt because it really seemed to embody the message of Kenny, his life, and our family. Another one of his plain green shirts, and of course another pair of his work shorts. Now we get into his work. So he started his business of Therapy Woodworks, and he ordered a boatload of t-shirts. So I'm going to go kind of fast through these because he has row after row of his Therapy Woodworks. Then we have Simula. These go chronologically as well. So it started off just as Simula. SimQuin was a camping event that happened each summer, and Simula would go up and meet with our partners from a company called Quintus in Flagstaff. So you can see here, you know, the pine tree and the canoes and the camping theme. Then Simula changed hands a few times, and the old logo went away, and they became Simula Technologies Inc., and then Simula Government Products. Oh boy, another row of Therapy Woodworks. He wore these almost daily, starting in 2007 when he got them. And then back to his roots in the final row. More drinking, beer pong, OSU, Buckeyes. Also, this sweatshirt was from Mesa Verde, which was on the way up on a camping trip that he took with Don and Helen to go to Four Corners. He really liked this sweatshirt. You can tell it's, you know, kind of old and worn out. He wore it a lot, and it just had a lot of happy memories for him. Now, in all the time that I knew him, Kenny owned 2 short-sleeved button-up shirts, and here they are. This one was the one that he had when I met him, and it was threadbare and worn out at that point. But he loved that shirt and he wore it. Well, because it was so worn out, I gently suggested he might like to wear this one, which I bought for him as a gift. And he did like it, and we both liked it, but he just could never give up his original shirt. So this one we have with the buttons. This one, the front was just a little too worn out, so we did the back of it. And here we are back at the end with the foundation of the outdoors. I hope this brought back some good memories for everybody else too. It was, it took a lot of thought and care to put it together, but it's brought a lot of comfort to me. I keep it on the bed where Bethany and I sleep, and at night I tell her when I pull it up, I said, well, here's a great big hug from Dad. So I hope you feel the warmth too.